every week. Catch your freshers on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball.
Elevator going down. You are now entering the field level, the football cast of the West Coast. My name, they call me Pat Paul. That's Quan. That's Clutch Coach CT. How my guys doing today, man? What's going on, my fellas?
Oh man, we blessed and highly favored. We doing great, man. I got this light shining on this milk dud right here. You feel me?
The milk dud.
Looking real what's it called? Godiva-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow.
That's how we rolling today.
CT, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, I'm solid, straight, and smooth, man. Can't complain. Ready for this draft week to kick off. A lot of stuff to talk about, man. Excited. It's my time of year. So, I thrive at this point. So let's get it.
Man, it's a beautiful thing. Like my man CT said, this is draft special. We are in draft week. This is officially draft week. This Thursday, April 29th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the NFL draft will begin. I have to say, fellas, I'm feeling good today. Day started off kind of rocky, but I'm back on track. I want to point out, I still have speed and stamina. As the intro was playing, I got up from my seat, went over, made me a cup of coffee, put a little sugar, put a little cream, and was back before the intro was over. I feel like I got something going, bro. I'm going to just keep it honest with you guys.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I want to do this, though, also, as we get ready to jump into tonight's show. We don't do this often, and we very rarely do it. But I wanted to give kudos tonight, man. I wanted to give a little bit of a shout-out. I got to shout out Quan's son, Jay. If y'all haven't seen the Instagram post today, this kid is going crazy. What we got, 7th grade?
7th grade.
7th grade,
12 years old.
12 years old in the 7th grade. Locking up on the field, going crazy. Just the one, I'm not gonna lie, it was one route in particular. He didn't even score on it, but my man stemmed up field, gave him 1-2, bang bang, got to the post and caught the ball. I said, Jay, come on, bro. I said, what we doing? Hey, can we throw out Quan? Can we throw out that Instagram handle to tell people to give him a phone on Instagram?
Yeah, man. So follow Jay. His Instagram is JAYX.31. JAYX.31. That's my son Instagram, and we appreciate it. Also, it's his Twitter. We just made him a Twitter, so I don't have it memorized by heart. But if you just type JAYX, it should pop up because there's not a lot of them. So thank y'all in advance. And thank
no
you
doubt,
too,
man.
Pat and CT, because man, you guys know how far it's been and how long he's come. You know what I'm saying? There's still so much to go. So Thank you.
But he's doing a great thing, man. Great work. We want to just make sure we pick out those young men that are out there putting in that great work. And he's definitely one of them. I will say that my only critique and criticism, he got to come out of the 31. I can't have that. I cannot have that.
Okay, so look, he's not gonna wear. What'd you say? See?
That's an Antonio Cromartie.
Exactly.
I think Jason Sehorn, but go ahead.
Look.
Wow.
Look, I tell you what, he's not gonna wear 4 because if you wear number 4, you have look, I know every corner, there was a real stigma. If you was number 4 and you play corner, you ran a 4-3, at least a 4-3, at least.
At least.
So
he can get there.
Yeah, but 31 is his birthday number. So he said he would switch it around to 13, or he likes number 11.
Now 13. 13. 1 + 3 = 4. Y'all remember I wore 13 my senior year when I got knocked out. Put that out there. After I got knocked out senior year, they put me in the 13, and I went for 300 on Woodside. Anyway, Just get him out of the 31, and whatever you do, never allow him to wear the 36. That's all I have to say about that.
Hey, I wear bro. I was 3-6 Mafia, baby.
Thank you.
Quan
Tell
wore
him,
30.
see?
Quan wore 36 at receiver. I hated it.
No, so I was tight end the year. I was tight end the year I wore it, and I got MVP honors.
Too.
Don't do that. MVP honors.
I hate 30. Wherever you had, if you was tight end, wide receiver, wherever you had that, I hated it. I don't care. It was terrible.
It was successful.
It's absolutely terrible. That's why I dang near made you put on a 6 your senior year. Anyway,
you really did force me though, but it's good.
Let's drop the 3 and keep the 6. Anyway, let's get into tonight's show, y'all. Like we've been saying, like it's been said, but been publicized over and over again. We are in draft week. This is the draft. The draft is upon us. It's funny though to see that the draft actually this year is later in the year. I didn't realize it was so much later in the year. Because I looked at my memories and last year the draft had already happened. It's kind of crazy to think of that. Pop says that don't worry about Jay. We'll have him down to 4.25 in no time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you all know, last week I came on. If you guys watched us last week, we were on. We said, you know what, guys, we're going to go ahead on. We are going to do our top 10 picks. We're jumping right into it tonight. We're not playing no games, not waiting around for it. We're going to do the top 10 picks, the top 10 guys that we feel like are going to go top 10 in this year's draft. With that being said, we did it without trades. There were no trades involved. This is just a straight top 10 going 1 through 10. As you all know, the order, number 1 pick going from there is Jags, Jets, Niners, Falcons, Cincy, Miami, Detroit, Carolina, Denver, and then Dallas. That is your top 10 this year in the top 10 of this year's draft. So let's do it. Let's just jump right in. The Jaguars are now on the clock. I'll go, and then we'll go serpentine. So we'll go Pat, Quan, CT. Then when we get done with CT, you'll give your first overall pick. Then you'll give your second overall pick, and then we'll come back down the line. Serpentine, you know what I mean? Like how we do in the fantasy football draft. We'll do it that way. So I'll kick us off. Jacksonville Jaguars, number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. This pick, for many, is a no-brainer, even though personally I feel like it should not be a no-brainer. Just my personal opinion. Is Trevor Lawrence the runaway 1 overall pick? I think that in this case, I don't feel like he is. I feel like he's a very good quarterback, but can Zach Wilson or Justin Fields have been number 1? Yeah, I believe he could. I believe they could have. I believe that the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars cut it off and said Trevor Lawrence is our guy kind of frustrated me a little bit, if I keep it honest. Quan, first overall pick. Who you got?
The Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, man. I just, like you said, this was almost a done deal as soon as we realized the Jags wasn't winning more than 2 games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I will also now we're gonna have this a lot. So Field Level family and our new listeners and viewers, hold on to your seats because we're gonna disagree a lot. I think this is the clear number 1 pick. I say that for a few reasons. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence, I felt like ever since he took over or took Kelly Bryant's job when he was the quarterback at Clemson as a true freshman, that's when I think it was already a done deal. Because he came in and he hit the ground running like he was a redshirt freshman, not just fresh out of high school. He knew what he was doing. He was poised. The moment wasn't too big for him. That right there says a lot of poise when you a 19-year-old or however it was, 18, 19-year-old as a true freshman in that environment at a big-time university. Right. Number 2, I felt like he set the bar so high. He set the bar so high that we weren't impressed with his sophomore season. We weren't impressed.
It wasn't that great. Junior especially, but go ahead.
Well, again, I think he set the bar so high that we just were like, oh, that's just Trevor doing Trevor. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like we're waiting for a moment for him to mess up or not look as good so we could critique it because his freshman year was so dominant. So I think he set the bar so high because when you look at somebody like his competitors or his peers, like a Fields, he had so much room to gain because the first time we seen him, it was splitting duty. And then he had to transfer to get on the field full time. And then he did what he did. So I felt like we just, he set the bar so high. But Trevor Lawrence is the pick, man. And kick it over to CT so he can tell you what he think.
Go ahead, CT. I just hate that you felt like that you had to say he had to transfer to get on the field. But go ahead, CT. I apologize.
It's all about how you say it, right? So, number one pick, Jacksonville Jaguars will definitely select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback Clemson. This has been my guy since I first saw him take over for Kelly Bryant. Knew about him because, we check out a few recruiting sheets and whatnot. So, who these 5-star quarterbacks are and who, what teams they're going to and whatnot. And from day one, I felt that this guy was special, and then if you look at how he played against Alabama, that game really stuck out to me because it was his running ability that kept him alive, and they came up short, but the way he played, the way he handled it, I just felt that this was all around the best quarterback, and I couldn't wait for him to come out and be at this point in his, career where he has an opportunity to be the number one pick and be the guy. I was asking this question. I think I said it to you guys a couple of weeks ago. Is it set in stone that he's going to be the number one pick? And I don't say that because I'm trying to be crazy or anything, but who's to say? I mean, that's not Urban Meyer's guy. Urban Meyer may be a fool if he doesn't take him, but that's not his guy. He kind of has. I know he didn't coach Fields, but he has ties to that school. He would know him better than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing.
Are you trying to stir up controversy here?
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Just a little bit. You know what? I just with the way that the last years went, I'm not putting anything past what these teams are thinking, what they might do. Urban Meyer's never been a head coach in the NFL before. He's fresh off. He hasn't even been a coach for the last few years. No telling. And his GM is Trent Baalke. That you're rolling your eyes for a reason, and I don't think that.
Is there anybody in this year's draft that has an ACL tear? If it is, the Jaguars are going to draft him. But I'm sorry.
That's a fact.
Oh my gosh.
But I can't say for certain that that's the truth. So we'll wait and see, obviously. But for now, 80% tells me Trevor Lawrence will be the pick.
Got you. What's good, Rob? Good to see you on tonight, man. We're talking this NFL draft, top 10 mock draft. We on pick number 1. So far, it's a clean sweep for Trevor Lawrence. Pick number 2, CT, it's on you.
Yes, sir. New York Jets will select. Dun, 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 dun. Zach Wilson. I believe that he'll go there. And I'll talk about him a little later in the show. But, this is a dynamic quarterback, good personality, fits that New York mold that they're looking for, the Broadway Joe type gimmick. Needs a little bit of seasoning, but he's somebody that in this situation, you throw him in instantly because, one, you really don't have a choice. 2, he's going to be so popular in New York early on that they're going to have to. And the key for them is to surround him with as many weapons as possible. They've done a few things to make their team bolster up a little bit, but I think, with a strong defense, get him a running game and allow him to just develop, and I think they do have a shot. But we'll talk about that a little later. But for now, Zach Wilson, BYU quarterback to the Jets, number 2.
Okay. Quan, saw you.
I second that. The Jets will select Zach Wilson. It's been reported that, and not majorly reported by like the super respectable guys like Ian Rappaport or Schefter, but you see through other reporters and other quote unquote verified profiles that Zach Wilson's already like been in New York multiple times. He's been looking at properties. He's been, he might even have a playbook, quote unquote, just like how they said Trevor's already looking through the Jags playbook. So if those things seem to be true, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So it can't be all fake. So that's why I'm confident in saying Zach Wilson's going to be the guy. He's going to be a young starter. They're going to go with probably the Josh Allen method of just throw him in the fire. And he has the athletic ability, I think, to save him a little bit from being put in the fire. He'll be able to escape certain things. He'll be able to, buy some time and make those spectacular plays while he's still learning to play the position, especially from under center. Because BYU, had a lot of under center plays as well. So I think he'll be fine. I think they're growing in the Jets, and the offense has some key weapons already, but they're young. So I feel like everybody's young. Let's just start young. They're gonna go through their lumps, but Zach is the guy here. He can make all the throws on the field. I think he's the guy they need.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think that I agree with you. We'll rock the number 2 pick, and I'll go Zach Wilson. I just worry about Zach in New York. Like you said, he's definitely a personality. But I think I've been on record as to say over the last couple of weeks, that same personality almost gives me a little bit of Johnny Manziel. Of course, not as brash as Johnny was, but definitely has a little bit of him in it. And that worries me in New York, especially because that offense, it's not a lot there. It's not a lot there, especially, I mean, you got Tevin Coleman, will probably be your day one starter at running back, and that kind of sucks.
Mark
don't really have a crazy receiving room. Last year, was it Braxton Berrios was like the most consistent receiver on that squad last year. I'm interested to see how it pans out for him. But yeah, it definitely be Zach. But I will say I teetered here a little bit. I did teeter here a little bit. Number 3. So it was reported this week, guys, that it is literally between Mac Jones and Trey Lance. It's no longer Justin Fields in this race at all at number 3. The 49ers will not go Justin Fields. That's what was reported. Basically, Mac Jones or Trey Lance, so you have to pick from those two. Because we have to pick from those two, of Mac Jones and Trey Lance to 3 for the 49ers, I'm going to say the 49ers will draft Justin Fields at 3. The reason why I say the 49ers will draft Justin Fields at 3 is because of this, man. I listen a lot, right? You listen to what Kyle Shanahan said today in this press conference. He doesn't really – Kyle's not a guy who makes words. He's not a guy who, says stuff and doesn't believe it. What was said today was that I want a guy who can throw the ball like Drew Brees and can run the ball like Lamar Jackson. I know a guy
kind
in
of
this
tells
draft,
you right there, huh?
I know a guy in the draft who has a solid arm and ran a 4.4. For me personally, I can't, and I think I said this to you guys last week again. I'll double down on it. For me, it can't be Trey. It's just not enough there. Trey is going to be a guy who is, for me personally, I feel like it's going to take Trey 3 years. I think it's going to take Trey 3 years. He can't be a day one starter this year. He can't be a mid-season starter this year for me. Did not do enough. I mean, he was in a predominantly run heavy offense. Just doesn't have enough experience to go up against NFL defensive coordinators week in and week out. It can't be Trey. So for me, the only thing that I'm going to say is it has to be Justin for me, because you're going to take 3 years. Trey's going to take 3 years to be a productive starter for the Niners. So
that quote that you said, that Shanahan said, hold on, can't see the discussion. The number 3. Yeah, because of that quote that you said, or that Shanahan stated at the conference, man, with the whole, I want a guy who can throw like Drew and who can run. That to me, that said Justin Fields. He just didn't say his name. I mean, the more accurate passer against better competition, the more accurate passer on an every down in basis, the guy who's seen 2 levels, I would say 2 levels of defensive schemes. When you look at
SEC and Big Ten.
SEC and Big Ten. So you're getting the speed of all these DBs in the SEC, and you're getting the dominant D lines you get coming out of the Big Ten with linebackers and all that. I feel like the Big Ten, I felt like that prepared them for everything. I know the SEC is considered the best conference, but the Big Ten prepared them for everything when you factor in weather and going to Northwestern and all of that. So I think he's the overall better guy for this team. And like I told y'all last week, if Justin Fields is there and the Niners grab him, Jimmy got to go. He also said in that press conference when somebody asked him, "Can you guarantee that Jimmy gonna be on the roster by Sunday?" He said, "I can't guarantee that I can't guarantee that we're gonna even be alive."
That was funny.
Like, what do you? So that to me tells me that Jimmy's gonna be gone relatively soon, because I don't think Justin Fields gets drafted and he sits. I just don't. There's only 2 quarterbacks in this whole draft class, or 3, maybe 3, who can start right away. Justin, Zach, Trevor. So I think it's Justin here.
I'm good with that. CT.
I'm glad you brought up the press conference today because it was telling, but I also want people to realize, like, they know how to tell you and divert you, distract you from what's really going on too. They can do a good job of that, and they also know how to keep it real with you. I think John Lynch was trying to do that, and I think Kyle was just like, nah, bro, this is where I'm at. This is my head right now, and I'm going to just speak my mind, which I appreciate about him. That's what makes him a great person to interview and hear from. He said he wants a starting quarterback. If you heard the conference right after they made that trade, they made it seem as if, Jimmy was going to be there year one. The quarterback learns under him and go from there. The tone of this conversation was a little bit actually was a lot different, to be honest with you. It was pretty telling, like, hey, Jimmy might be here, he might not. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and that's what Kyle said. But, John Lynch was like, well, he's ready, he's excited. Like, Kyle's like, I'm getting a starting quarterback, But, just to give you all that, to me, there is a few pro-ready quarterbacks that are in this draft, ones that you can bring out right now. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, that's by default. Zach Wilson, that would be by default. Justin Fields, and I believe that's who the Niners will pick there. I'm cool with Trey Lance, but I do agree that Trey Lance can't start mid-season, and he probably can't start later in the season. So this probably isn't the ideal situation for him. And I think that's what it comes down to when they have to make that final decision. Not to say that he isn't just as good of a talent, doesn't have as much potential. I just think that what they're going to ask him to do early on, because they're not depending on Jimmy, or they might not even keep him past this weekend. They said Sunday. So, if you really paying attention to what he's saying, that dude might not make it out of day 3.
And like Dre just said, not only did they say Sunday, but they also lowered the trade value. So now they're no longer asking for a first-round pick for Jimmy.
And that's huge. That's huge. So, I mean, what we really need to be talking about and thinking about from the quarterback situation is who's going to be our number 2 backup? Who do we really want there? You know what I mean? And
Sudfeld or Rosen.
And the thing is, look, I forgot he was there right on. But the thing about it is Justin Fields isn't a quarterback that can sit. I don't really see that as the right move for if the Niners drafted him. You can't sit him. You can sit Trey. I don't even really think you can sit Mac Jones the way it's set up because you traded up too far. You made your intentions known that this is what it is. So not to, string y'all on too long, but I got Justin Fields going to the Niners.
No, 100%. I appreciate you putting that out there. I'm gonna just say this last comment. I hold steady on my conviction that guys like Trey Lance and guys like Mac Jones would have been there at 12. The reason why Mac Jones is getting as much buzz as he's getting today is because the 49ers traded to 3. If the 49ers would have never traded to 3, Mac Jones would not be talked about as the 3rd pick off of the board. Let's just keep it a bean. Call a spade a spade. It has to be for me. It has to be Justin, bro. It has to. And with that being said, I think you brought out a nice point where you said who's going to be the backup. But I do believe out of all those guys, Justin Fields will be probably the best day 1 starter. He did make this comment as we get ready to go into the 4th pick. He did make comment, CT and Quan, where he said basically, when we moved to 3, we did have a guy in mind. Kyle did say that. We did have a guy in mind. He said since then, that guy has gotten better, but the other guys have gotten better as well. But I will say that he did say when they moved to 3, they moved to 3 for a guy. He did say that today. So just putting that out in the atmosphere. Let's go over to the 4th overall pick.
Got you.
This is where the arguments start. Promise you. This is where.
So, we have the Atlanta Falcons picking at 4. A lot of different ways you can go there. 2 thoughts I guess you can have for this team. We have Matt Ryan right now. We have Julio Jones. We have a new head coach who, may not be tied to Matt Ryan more than a year. So what do you do here? Or we can be competitive with Matt Ryan, we can build around him, for the next 2-3 years and let him play out his contract and really try and contend within the NFC South. I think that with a new head coach, you know how this goes, man. They like to clean house. They like to get their own guys in there. And I believe that Atlanta will take quarterback Trey Lance.
Okay.
He can sit. This is an ideal sit. There's a few ideal situations for him. And, I am a fan of Trey Lance. I actually would love to see him be successful in this league, regardless of it's with the Niners or not. If you're going to bet on somebody, potential-wise, somebody that can learn from a true professional, somebody that can really learn from what Arthur Smith, the head coach, is really trying to find long-term, I think Trey Lance is a good pick here. They're not going to be able to get Justin Fields. He'll be gone. I don't think they want another Matt Ryan. I think they wanted something a little bit different in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Think about the running scheme that they had in Tennessee. Tannehill, King Henry, all that. He wants somebody that can move. And we all didn't discuss Mac Jones and his capabilities, and Trey Lance surpasses him in that category. So that is why I believe that Trey Lance will be the pick for Atlanta, and that'll be the first surprise of the draft.
There you go. Go on.
Hey, who in the field of a family put Najee Harris?
That was Dre Kelly. Dre Kelly said Najee.
Coach.
Okay. Hey man, shout out to Andre Kelly, because that's actually a good idea. That's not who I have, but that's really a good idea.
Good idea.
I'm gonna say this, like I said earlier, I think our first 3 picks were all in line. I knew number 4 was gonna be when we start to differ. Every pick after this is we're gonna differ. I'm gonna say Atlanta Falcons draft Jamar Chase. And I say that for a few. I say that for a few reasons. Julio he's still the boy, but there's for too many years his name has been circled around trade options. I don't think they'll ever trade him this year. Even I don't think they'll do it, but I just think for the last 2 seasons, Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones have been often injured. When Julio goes down, Calvin Ridley steps up. But then when Calvin Ridley goes down, Julio's usually not there neither. And this year we were able to see Julio not play for an extended period of time, and we seen Calvin Ridley get hurt with that ankle. And then the guys who they have coming in, the Rosenfels and whoever else they got over there, it's not that they're bad. It's just you tell it's a tick down. And then the Falcons bring in Hayden Hurst, that tight end from the Ravens, who's very good. But when you don't have your 2 top dogs on the outside, I mean, it's hard for him to even, look like he a boy when I know he is. So I feel like they go ahead because Matt Ryan's contract is dang near there's no way you can get out of that without taking a huge hit. Unless, like you said, right. CT, you let him play it out. I think they have a good enough offensive line and they have good enough weapons when healthy. You add Jamar Chase right in there and you create almost like a makeshift Tampa Bay Bucks, might I say, in the same division. You just don't have a running back yet, but you can address that later. You get Jamar Chase, you got a dynamic 3 along with a good tight end, just like the Bucks have. And you could automatically compete in that division right now to at least get in the playoffs as a wild card with the extra game they added onto the season. So I think they go ahead and do that. They select Jamar Chase and they build a powerhouse on offense. And they know they got Matt Ryan at least 2 good years because Matt Ryan is still productive. Very productive, I should say.
Quick little note. The Falcons have Mike Davis at running back.
They did get Mike Davis.
There you go.
He's a decent little placeholder. You can add a speed back to complement him, but he can.
I think they could potentially get Travis Etienne in the second, which is just a guy that can get
just as good.
If they can get Travis Etienne in the second, that'd be interesting. All right, so I'm gonna stay right there with you, Quan. I don't believe it'll be Jamar Chase, but I believe it'll be a playmaker. If you're able to couple Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley on the outsides, you said that they have Hurst at tight end, but what if they're able to draft Kyle Pitts here at number 4? Now you have Julio. I see you, Sadi. Now you have Julio, Calvin Ridley, and Kyle Pitts going up top, right? This is going to be a crazy scenario right there. If you're able to get Julio, Kyle Pitts, and Calvin Ridley, you have an air raid that's just ridiculous right there. Like, pick your poison. You can't double over the top of nobody. If you double over the top, then Kyle Pitts will kill you down the seam. It's just a lot that they can do with that. I believe that go ahead on and add Kyle Pitts to the story there. And like you said, let Matt Ryan play the rest of that contract out. But you give him weapons like that, a wealth of riches right there with Kyle Pitts, Julio Jones, and Calvin Ridley. So I got the Falcons drafting Kyle Pitts out of Florida at number 4 pick.
Can't go wrong.
At number 5, I know we differ because it already happened. I have Cincy going Jamar Chase. Because I feel like they have to give Joe Burrow some help out there. AJ Green is now gone. He's in Arizona, even though he didn't give you much of anything last year anyway. But you bring Jamar Chase in, couple him back. Let's not forget, couple him back with Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow had that crazy year, he was throwing to Jamar Chase and my guy up in Minnesota. So, I think that you give him back Jamar Chase coming off of the ACL, you give him a security blanket like Jamar Chase, and you'll see a lot of good things coming out of Cincinnati.
Yep, we differ. Cincy's going to be smart and draft Penei Sewell. They're going to be smart. You cannot. You already seen in your franchise quarterback's rookie season what happens when you don't have a line. Now, granted, he got hit. The play he actually got hurt, he was actually on the move. But before that, he was still getting beat up. How many times can we turn on Joe Burrow highlights, and on his highlight tape, you seeing him making big throws while getting hit? You're not going to be able to sustain that, Joe Burrow. You got to get the help. And if the Bengals ever want to be relevant, they need to be smart. And you get the best lineman who can start at guard right now or start at tackle, in my opinion. You can move him anywhere. And he's been dominant. Dominant. Even though he sat out this last year, dominant when he was there at Oregon throughout his time. And you also hear Oregon's head coach, Mario Cristobal, talks about he was a leader from day one on the campus, a vocal leader, day one. And as he grew in that program, when new recruits would come in, he's not only just, shaking hands, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. He's joining in on their tours, showing them the campus. Leader from day one. Who can we name on the Bengals right now who's a leader? Exactly. I rest my case. And another reason why I went with Sewell here, Pat, you mentioned Chase, right? You said, Joe Burrow needs weapons on the outside. AJ Green's gone. Yeah, AJ Green's gone. He didn't do nothing last year, and they were pretty productive when Joe Burrow was there without him anyway. Tyler Boyd is still there, Pro Bowl two years straight. T. Higgins is the reason why AJ Green's gone. So, and they still got Joe Mixon. If he can stay healthy, he top 10 back. We already know that. So I think Sewell's it's the right play to grow old with Joe Burrow.
I'm glad you said that, man. I'm glad you said that. Because, it'd be real cool. It'd be solid for Jamar Chase to be an option for Joe Burrow to see that LSU connection. But how the hell is he going to throw to him if he can't burrow out of this situation? So,
boom. Oh, I like that. If you can't burrow. Okay, see? If you can't burrow off the season, let's go.
You got to take Penei Sewell. They have to be smart. There's no way you pass this up. If you like Slater more, cool. But I would go Penei Sewell here because this is a 10-year, 12-year Pro Bowl type of player potentially for this team. And he's going to lock down that side for Joe Burrow, and you won't have to worry about him, which I love. That's the biggest thing, man. You got to protect him. You cannot have your quarterback go through that. He was playing well from day one, to be honest with you. I really saw some promise within him. Obviously, they weren't going to compete on that level, but Boyd is a good player. Higgins came along. Yeah. I don't like that he wears 85. I think they should take that away. But other than that, I think he's a good player. There's a lot of things for them to add, but I feel like that line and solidifying that is going to be important because that head coach will not be there if Joe Burrow gets hurt again.
Big facts.
I hear you. We're at 6 with Miami.
All right. So, a lot of people have been having Miami take, receivers here. I actually like who they have at receiver, but maybe it's not enough. So I'm going to agree, and I will say that they will draft Jamar Chase. That's not somebody that you can have on the board for too long. Big play potential, big receiver who can do it all. Devontae Parker, good player, has shaky hands at times, but seemed to develop and get better as he came on. Preston Williams, good player, but not really number two, kind of a number three guy, complimentary. So you need to add somebody there. And I'm sure that I'm forgetting one other receiver, but Jamar Chase is the answer for them. Tua has his number one target. The line is okay. They can still solidify some stuff, need to address the running back situation. But at this point, for that value, you got to go Jamar Chase.
I wouldn't be mad if they took a receiver there. So that's nice. I like that. But I'm going to also go in the protection mode of your franchise quarterback.
Slater.
I'm going Rashawn Slater.
They don't believe but they don't believe he's the franchise quarterback, Quan. Never mind. Go ahead.
They do believe he's the franchise because if they didn't, they wouldn't have got rid of Fitzpatrick. So they did that by letting him go. They could have re-signed Fitzpatrick to another 1-year deal and then drafted somebody else. So I think they're going to go Slater here, back-to-back offensive lineman. Slater's the second best lineman in this draft. He can also play guard, start at guard right away, and play tackle. He can interchange. I think that's needed because Tua, not only was Tua getting beat up a little bit last year, but if you remember when the Dolphins played the Raiders, and when Tua was getting beat up and they bring Fitzpatrick in, who ended up winning that game. Even Fitzpatrick was getting beat up. You guys remember that big play where the Raiders had the pass interference and Fitzpatrick's helmet almost came off? Mm-hmm. If you letting the Raiders get pressure on you, that's my team, but you letting my team get pressure like crazy, that's a problem. You got to have your protection there, especially with Tua having his injury history. And like CT said, they're going to address running back at some point in this draft. So what better friend to build up that line so your running back can actually look like he's something when he's there. I kind of agree with CT as well. Their weapons are good enough to not have to get a receiver in the first round, unless they get him later because I know they got a few picks. But they don't got to be the first one. Get your lineman, be solid.
I got you. All right, I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so we can get to everything. I'm going to go Miami as well is going to take a receiver. I'm right there with CT. Of course, it can't be Jamar Chase for me, so it has to be Devontae Smith. Heisman Trophy winner, has a great familiarity with Tua, played with Tua. So he knows Tua. They have a rapport. And I feel like if they want to help Tua to be a better player, get some guys in there that he's familiar with. So Devontae, and you're lucky enough that Devontae Smith is sitting there at number 6, and you can take a guy like that. Interestingly
Even though he
enough,
said he liked Mac Jones better?
He did say that.
Interestingly enough, I'm going to allow this to happen. Devontae Smith comes off the board at 6. I'm going to go back-to-back Alabama receivers. I got Detroit taking Jalen Waddle at receiver. They just lost Marvin Jones. He's not there anymore. So if you can bring in a guy like Jalen Waddle in Detroit, help out Sam Bradford, help out Jared Goff, because Jared Goff is going to need all the help he can get in Detroit right now. So I got Jalen Waddle going 7 to Detroit.
Quick question, Pat. While I tell you my pick, don't the Lions have 2 number 1 picks this year because for the Stafford trade?
Yeah.
If you could look that up just to confirm that, but I have my first shocker of the draft. Detroit is going to take Trey Lance. I think they take Trey Lance as a project because Jared Goff's most recent history.
Jared, I'm hot. I'm hot.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Jared Goff is very close to the Josh Rosen scenario, but I'll make it short and sweet why I said this. The reason why I asked you to see if they have another number 1 pick is because I think with that pick, they'll end up taking the best receiver on the board at that time. They don't. Okay, so maybe that might change my mind. But I think for right now, I'm comfortable saying Trey Lance because he's a project. You guys already mentioned he's not going to be ready for at least 2 to 3 years. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Jared Goff has like 2 to 3 more years left on the deal that they got traded from the Rams. And Jared Goff hasn't solidified himself that he's the man there. He's going to be the starter, but like you said, you have 3 years in waiting. He might be that guy that can do that. So I think Trey Lance can go here because he can sit, and everyone knows Jared Goff's a starter. You just traded for him, but you can allow him to sit and be in that division. That's what I think.
Hey, Pat, you know that beer, how you do that?
I don't got it on there no more.
First trade.
We're not doing trades.
It needs to happen. I said it.
This fool.
I don't think Detroit makes any trade here. I think they slide out of the top 10 and they allow Dallas to pick Kyle Pitts.
Right. Go ahead. Go
ahead.
Let
him go because he just broke the rules.
Dallas, look, Dallas would be dumb if they do that, though. By the way,
no doubt.
They need it though.
Who do you got at 8, CT?
Okay. At 8, Carolina will get a lineman. They're going to protect Sam Bradford. So Rashawn Slater from Northwestern drops right here.
That boy said Sam Bradford.
Sam Darnold. He really don't like Darnold.
I said Bradford?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
I swear I said Darnold. Anyway, Darnold.
Go ahead, Quan.
Okay. Panthers take Kyle Pitts. I think he slides a little bit. But sliding from 4 to 8 is not really sliding. I think this just makes the best fit because who's Carolina's tight end right now? It's nobody. I think he can go there right now and give Sam Darnold a very nice target. He can play all the positions. He can play the exit even if need be. He doesn't even have to come in and be the blocking tight end from day one right away. I think they got somebody there by, I think his last name's like Aiken or something. So I think that's a good fit right there.
I hate that you just said that. I all agree with CT. I think right here Carolina takes Penei from Oregon, tackle.
So
he's still on my board.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just the way it's shaking out for me.
So you get on me about Kyle Pitts sliding, but then Penei Sewell sliding is cool.
It makes sense. Yours don't make sense.
Kyle Pitts don't make sense to go there?
No.
Why not?
He's gonna be gone. He'll be out of here.
All right, whatever.
Kyle Pitts is out here in the top 5 for sure, 100%.
Gentleman's bet.
100%. Let's do that. All right, I got Denver here. Now this is where it gets funny for me. I got Denver taking Mac Jones. I feel like Denver has tried the experiment with guys like what was my guy name? Oh, my guy from Memphis. No, my guy from Memphis.
Lynch.
Paxton Lynch. You got guys like Paxton Lynch. You had Osweiler. You had Drew Lock now. You tried to get some guys that had a little bit of mobility in them. John Elway says, hey, go get a guy like me. Go get a guy like me that can't run much, but can throw with accuracy. He can hit Jerry Jeudy. He can hit KJ Hamler. He can hit Tim Patrick. He can hit Noah Fant. Let's go get a guy in Mac Jones who had a 77% completion percentage in college that we know is just going to get the ball to these playmakers that we've spent draft picks on. We need them to get the ball, so let's just go get Mac Jones and make it happen that way.
Mac Jones, agreed. We both agree. West Coast offense, he'll fit right there. Not to mention, if Mac Jones does go to Denver like we hope or like we think at least, that team's gonna look. Miles, be quiet. Denver's gonna look just like Alabama. If you think about it, you're gonna have your speedster in Jalen Waddle, but you're gonna just say it's KJ Hamler. You're gonna have your tight end who was Irv Smith at one point. You got Noah Fant. You got your Jerry Jeudy there, who's gonna be like this year's Devontae Smith there. You got Tim Patrick, who's whoever, because he stepped up out of nowhere, and then you got your big body in what's his name, Cortland Sutton.
Every time I hear Tim Patrick's name, I think about him wearing number 4 in preseason for the Niners. But go ahead.
But he nice though. He grew up. He nice. So I think 100%. Mac Jones is the play. He play.
100%.
Yeah, this is where we differ, guys. I can understand the quarterback pick there, but I think it's inevitable. Unfortunately, Vic Fangio is going to get fired after this year. He's going to go down
Whoa.
with Drew Lock as his quarterback. He's going to try and meet up that defense, and that's why I believe they will take Patrick Surtain.
Okay.
Secondary,
All right.
I'll say.
Sure. All right, it's on you. 10th pick. 10th pick, Mister. I just traded Dallas, so I can't pick for Dallas. Go ahead. Who they got?
I need to pick Dallas because I got Detroit.
Uh-huh.
Detroit is back in it. This is a good spot for them because they will solidify their linebacker position and get Micah Parsons.
I like that fit. I don't think it'll happen, but I like that because they need some backers. I like that. But Dallas is going to stand pat. I'm going to agree with Unc because Unc said they need defensive players, and they're going to take Pat Surtain, who is the most technically sound from a press perspective.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
He's
I
the
don't want to hear you
most
say nothing
technically
else.
sound.
Nope.
He is, though.
Nope.
He is.
Nope. Nope.
He is.
You don't get to talk about DBs no more. I hate you.
He is. He is. I'm just saying. He's everything they need, man. That's
Oh,
what
I
they
can't
need.
stand Pat Surtain. I can't
Why?
stand him. He is not good to me.
His dad was real.
His dad was dope.
98 in Madden every year.
But Quan, I agree with you. I feel like Dallas is going to take a DB. It's just not Patrick Surtain. It is J.C. Horn.
He's a dog.
J.C. Horn, for me, is the best corner in this draft. He has a dog in him, like you just said, for sure, 100% a dog. This guy goes and gets after it. If Dallas is lucky to get J.C. Horn, a great pick for Dallas right there. So
I'm not mad at either or because J.C. Horn's my second favorite corner. So
no doubt about it. Let's say this. Okay, so we got through the top 10. We're out the top 10. Let's just run it down right quick. Everybody, you got your picks in. I need to know from you guys, who is your first round sleeper? Who is the guy that's going to go in the first round that you feel like is not getting a lot of pub or as much pub as you feel like he should? Who is the first round sleeper for you guys? CT, I'll start with you and finish up with Quan.
All right, can I give you two?
Sure, 100%.
All right.
Quan, Miles hates Quan for some reason in these moments. Go ahead.
Jamon Davis, whatever you want to call it, from Kentucky. I think this dude's going to sneak up late in the first round. Dude's a dog. Could start day one potentially if he's in the right situation. So I'm a big fan of him. And then the second sleeper just has to go to the right situation. I hope it isn't Baltimore for him, but Elijah Moore, receiver from Ole Miss. Dude is cold.
he's cold. He's cold.
Explosive. But if he goes to a team like that when you got Hollywood Brown, I think that's a bad look. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that's my sleeper. Or sleepers.
You took one of my sleepers. I had Elijah Moore. So I'm very mad because now I got to come up with just guys that I like on the fly. But if there tends to be a run on corners, which there might be, I'm gonna say that Mark Gilbert slides up in there at the end of the first round. More likely day two, more likely second round. But if there's a run on corners, which sometimes there's a run on a certain position, I think he might be able to slide up in there. Mark Gilbert, cornerback out of Duke, I think he might slide up in there. It's a long shot, but that's what we're talking about. So, because I had Elijah Moore there. So, go ahead, P.
So I also had two. First one was pretty much an easy one. I was going to stick on there. And I love J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is one of my favorite players in this draft. So I was going to say to him just because he's not getting a lot of pub. I think he doesn't get enough pub. But my other guy that I was looking at was Kadarius Toney, the wide receiver from Florida. Playmaker. Dude is electric. Definitely great playmaker. Makes a lot of things happen on the field. Put Florida in some great positions this year with Kyle Trask. So Kadarius Toney is another guy that I look for to be a solid day one pick, but can really make some shake it up and make some noise. So we got the sleepers in. First round is happening. What is the biggest surprise that comes our way in the first round? Quan, we start with you. CT, end it up.
The biggest surprise, man, is that a quarterback is going to find his way getting picked really early, and he has no business being picked really early. And I'm gonna throw a name out there because I heard it a couple weeks ago and I heard it again today. That
Kellen
a lot
Mond.
of teams seem to like Kellen Mond, man. I
I knew
don't
you was
see it.
coming with it.
I
I
don't
knew you was
see
coming with Kellen
bro.
Mond.
I've watched enough Texas A&M games. I just don't see it. I see to me, I see a poor man's Kaepernick. That's what I see. A poor man's Cap, and I just don't see it, man. I hope he doesn't get picked in the first round. I think he has something there. He has so much experience. He was a starter as a true freshman, so he has plenty of experience. So he has that going for him, but I just don't see it.
I like that. I mean, I guess a surprise is not really a surprise. New England's going to get Mac Jones. I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll figure it out.
Oh. Hey, did you say you're surprised yet, Pat?
I'm about to say it right now.
All right, go ahead, and then I'm gonna double back on CT. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got 2 surprises. One of my surprises is that New England is going to get a quarterback draft day. It's just not going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. That the Niners and the Patriots will a deal done to get Jimmy back in New England. That's just going to be my surprise. We'll see if it happens. I don't know, but that's going to be a surprise. My other one, which is a very bold statement, I'm going to go out there on a limb and try to make it happen. I'm not going to try to make it happen because I have no bearings on what happens. But dare I say that the NFL is getting so much into playmakers that potentially maybe, the very depending, I want to maybe no offensive lineman go in the top 10.
Oh no, that's not happening.
Could be.
Bold predictions.
Bold. I got to be bold. I can't be weak like y'all.
Oh wow. Okay.
Now double back, Juan. I know you want to double down.
Real quick, CT. If the Patriots find a way to get Mac Jones and that happens, do we bench Cam and just let Mac start?
You know, the unfortunate part is Cam isn't owed a lot of money, so they may be able to do whatever they need to do in that situation. But I mean, I think you keep both. And the way Cam played last year, you probably use him in the running game. I'm not going to lie to you. And do some type of variation there if they want to keep both. But we'll see.
Shout out to whoever pouring Cocoa Puffs in the background. Love to hear it, baby.
Is Cocoa Puffs. Hey, is Mac Jones is Mac Jones better than Cam right now? Quick answer.
No.
Okay.
And I hope you would say no, too. Because if you say yeah, me and you're going to have a serious problem.
All right, go ahead, man. Continue with the show.
Okay, I was about to say production over projection. We was about to have a whole conversation. With that being said,
yeah, he ain't did nothing yet.
With that being said, final topic, final little rundown, real quick before we close out tonight's show. Give me a draft bust. CT, who you got? First round draft bust. Big name draft bust.
You said that we ain't tough. We scary. I'll say it right now.
Said.
Zach Wilson, bust.
Whoa. Okay.
We get it a while for the draft.
So I think it was Saudi, but somebody just put that Eric Stokes, the corner from Georgia, is needs to fix his run support. That's why he can't play in the NFL. He can't tackle. He's like CJ Henderson. Oh, it was Pops. It was Yeah. He like CJ Henderson. He can't tackle. Anyway, quarterback from Wake Forest, Jamie Newman, bust if he get in.
All right. I'll hold you to that. Now I have to preface my statement because I don't want nobody yelling at me or looking at me crazy. I have to preface my statement by saying that my draft bust will be a bust at the position in which he's drafted. Okay. I believe Kyle Pitts will be a bust at tight end.
You're going to have to move him to X?
I feel like eventually they're going to have to move him to receiver because he's not going to be able to block on the line.
So you're about to be John Ross at the tight end position.
Okay. He's not going to be an inline blocker. He cannot. I don't think he'll be able to block DNs in the NFL. He doesn't have that strength. He doesn't have that upper body. He doesn't have that run fit strength. I feel like they're going to have to move him to the X. He's not even as good as Darren Waller in blocking. And, Darren Waller can't block. So,
Well, okay. All right. So look. We need to make categories. Okay. We need to. There has to be a he can block. Then there's a he's willing to block, and then there's a he can't block. George Kittle is in the he can block category. He's nasty. He's vicious with it. Darren Waller is in the he's willing to block. He ain't gonna look like George Kittle, but he'll get the job done. Is Kyle Pitts in the is Kyle Pitts in the he's willing to block, like he's just not that good, but he'll get it done, or is he like he just can't block, like he's terrible?
He just can't block.
So he just plays defense like James Harden.
Yeah, I'm like this. Is if you feel like Kyle Pitts is going to be able to block Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, Aaron Donald if he goes out the DN, if he can get that block, sure. He's not even no. H word no. It's not happening. Kyle Pitts is going to move to a receiver because he's not going to be able to get it done at tight end.
Is that why you said it depends on what team he gets drafted by?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
With that being said, Miles says Patrick Surtain would be a bust. I'm inclined to agree.
A bust?
Yes, bro. He's not good, Quan. What are you watching?
What do you mean he's not good? What are you watching?
Every play.
Okay, look. Real quick before we get off here, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna retract my statement. I think the Cowboys will still take Surtain, but I will retract because I just actually watched J.C. Horn. Not J.C. Horn. Yeah, that's his name. I just watched his highlights a couple of days ago. I'm willing to say you guys are right. He's better than Surtain. I'm gonna retract my statement, but you can't say he a bust though, bro. There's too much good tape out there. Stop it.
Patrick Surtain plays cornerback and hasn't had more than 2 picks in a year. I don't want to talk about this.
Maybe they don't even throw it his way.
No.
Thank you, CT. Must we not forget when cornerback for Auburn, Carlos Rogers, was there, and he was only thrown at like 68 times in 3 years? Must we forget
This isn't that? This isn't that. This is not that.
Okay.
Patrick Surtain gets thrown at. Dude had 1 pick in 2018. Dude had 2 picks in 2019. And then he had 1 pick this year. I don't want to hear it. The 1 pick he had this year, interceptions. The 1 pick my man had this year, I can't even find it. I can't even find.
Well, then you're saying that he's underachieved, right?
I'm saying that he's not good.
So if he's underachieved in college, I want you to understand something, that there's plenty of players that didn't play up to par according to certain statistics, and we have to look at his throwing when he threw it to his side. But I'll put it this way. That doesn't mean that he won't maximize it when he gets to the NFL. He's still waiting on
that man had 1 pick last year against Mississippi State, who throws the ball 58 times a game.
They probably 57 of them throws went on the other side.
I'm ready to get off.
You also told me C.J. Henderson was a good tackler. I ain't listening to you.
First of all, you worried about tackling at corner. Who cares?
It's needed, Pat.
Sanders couldn't tackle. You worried about tackling
No.
You worried about tackling.
Tears.
You worried about tackling that corner.
Tears, right? Deion was willing to tackle. It didn't look good, but he was willing.
Deion, no, you can't. That's not the criteria. You have to say tackler.
No tackler.
Willing to tackle and business decision. And Deion was a business decision most of the time.
100% of the time. 100% of the time.
Whatever, man.
What Miles said, J.C. Horn gave up 60 yards to Devontae Smith, and guess what was the most all year?
But Miles, it depends on the team he goes to. If J.C. Horn goes to Dallas, they get no pressure in Dallas. Is he gonna lock up everybody? They don't get no pressure in Dallas.
If Patrick Surtain go to Dallas, they get no pressure in Dallas.
Hey, Pat,
he got a pedigree.
Look what Sadi said.
J.C. Horn got pedigree.
Revis had 2 picks his last 2 years at Pitt. Yeah, get him, Sadi. Tell him. Sadi facts.
Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, Sadi?
Sadi facts.
All right, since we're doing this, since we own tonight, let's be on. Let's just be all the way on. You know,
only way to be.
Since that's what you guys want to do, you know, This is what we're looking at. We want to make sure that Pat, yeah. So 3 years at Pitt, Darrelle Revis had 8 picks. My man got 3. I want to hear that. Get up out of
He
here.
had 8 picks, and they stopped throwing his side.
Get up out of here. Yeah, 8 picks at Pittsburgh. 8 picks at Pittsburgh.
Namadi Oswald didn't even play corner in college. He turned out pretty well at corner.
Yeah, for the Raiders.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And nobody else. When he was able to play cover 3 and drop, he was good. Then as soon as he had to play man or 2, exposure happened.
No, man, he was good. It was coverage. He was bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Terrible. Half past terrible. My name is Pat Holmes, and I approve this message. Half past terrible. All of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Waste management, recycology. I agree with my little brother.
He's waste management.
Will be bust. Yes, I don't care, man.
Hey, Means, if you still on, gentlemen's bet. If Surtain gets 4 or more picks in his rookie season, you owe me Team Fitty shirt and shorts.
Chris says Surtain is good. Chris, you smoking LA weed. I don't care. Surtain is trash. Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape. I don't know what you guys are watching, bro. Watch the tape. Surtain is not good.
Just tell me to accept the gentleman's bet so I can get my Team Fitty merchandise.
What you say, Team Fitty? You want Team Fitty merch? Miles, he want Team Fitty merch.
I want a Team Fitty shirt and Team Fitty shorts if Surtain gets 4 or more picks in his rookie season. 4 or more.
He getting 4 or more picks in his rookie season and couldn't get 4 or more picks in his college career?
Are we talking about college or are we talking about the pros? Okay.
Exactly.
Just tell me to type yes or no if he accepts the bet. That's all I'm saying.
Pat, please.
Gentlemen's bet.
Miles trying to get on the show.
It's too late. We're already over an hour.
We're already over an hour. We gotta go.
Next time, Meeks. Next time.
My boy who played in the NFL watched Surtain tape. Y'all smoking, and guess what? No one cares. He watched this tape. He played in the NFL. I know a bunch of guys in the NFL that don't care, evaluate talent. You say stuff like it means something. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Y'all tripping.
Miles hit him. Miles hit him with the Chris. Let me see your back pedal.
Here we go. Joshua Joe won't be better when you talk DBs. Now. Who's Joshua Joe?
Oh wow.
I don't know.
Chris ain't cool.
College interceptions is overrated. Yeah, right.
Nah.
Okay, I'm not saying they overrated, but I'm saying he's not a bust. Y'all too tripping that he a bust. Y'all could have said any word but bust. Y'all could have said anything.
Remember Amirson? I don't know who Amirson is.
I think he meant to say Emerson, maybe David Emerson. Yeah.
I don't care. Who cares? All right, just remember this conversation. Write it down. Take a picture. At the end of the day, Patrick Surtain is not going to be what y'all think he's going to be.
I like how you skip Revis' numbers.
Yeah, he had 8. Revis had 2, 4, 2. I'm right. He had 8 picks. What are you talking about?
Pat.
It was a good year, bro.
4 plus 4 equals 8.
Pat, your statement that you just said, you should have just led with that. You said Surtain is not going to be what y'all think. That's fine. You can't say he a bust. Bust is Ryan Leaf.
I can say whatever I want to say. I can say whatever.
But you wrong though. But you wrong though.
How? You watched it already? You seen it? You got the future genie?
I seen it.
You time traveler, Back to the Future?
Hey, Will Smith from Aladdin. Will Smith from Aladdin. I seen it.
That was a terrible movie. You shouldn't have quoted that. That was horrible.
Wasn't that bad.
Patrick Surtain will be Jerry Rice Jr.
Jerry Rice Jr.?
Yeah, trash.
Wow.
And I thought I was the hater. Okay.
Wow.
Did you not see him at Menlo? That boy was super trash. Will Surtain be better than Fabian Washington? Y'all talking absolutes. Is Chris telling me, is Chris on here talking about y'all talking absolutes equals extreme? Does Chris not talk extreme all the time? How many times did Chris call somebody trash? Let's just count it out. Chris, you call somebody trash every other day, but now that somebody else is calling somebody trash that you think is good, now it's an absolute extreme. Get out of here, man.
Hey, That's why we gotta stop throwing around the trash word. Wait,
Pat, how you know
Surtain?
Surtain's going to suck? What sucks about
What
him?
sucks
Everything.
That's
His
a good
on-field
question.
swag, his coverage.
Oh, we're
Go
talking
back.
about
Which
swag
game
now.
was it? Is Miles still on here? Miles, what game was that? Miles, if you're still on here, can you give me that game that Surtain was just getting raped? It was somebody put up numbers on Surtain. I'm trying to figure it out. Miles, if you can get that for me. Surtain might be 1, 2, 3, 4. He might be the fourth right now as I'm looking at it just off of pedigree in college. Might be the fourth best corner.
Well, like I told you, I retract my statement. I'm willing to concede to you and me saying J.C. Horn's the best one. I just don't think Surtain can be labeled a bust. There's too much good tape there to say bust. Bust is a hard word, bro. You got to find another word.
I'm not going, but you know what though, Quan? The reason why I'm not giving you no validity, we said bring us a name that was going to be a bust. You went to the Wake Forest quarterback.
He is a bust. He trash.
Like,
He's
come on,
trash.
bro. We said give us a name.
No, he's trash.
We know
You're
this.
killing me. Pat, give me a weakness. Coverage. He can't cover. You said give him a weakness. Coverage.
Wow.
What's the biggest thing to do at every corner? Cover. You can't cover.
I'm definitely cutting some clips, CT. I'm cutting some Surtain clips tonight, and I'm gonna post it tomorrow, and we gonna see.
Yeah, Cal Trask. Yeah, thank you, Saudi. It was against Florida. Cal Trask lit Patrick Surtain up. Went at him all game.
Hey,
Lit him up.
Was that receiver? Was it Tony?
It was Kadarius Toney.
Hey, Tony was out of the slot.
Go back and watch the game, Chris. Go back and watch Florida versus Bama and look at the Patrick Surtain that you're crowning. I don't got time for this tonight, man. I already had a hard day. It's the field level football podcast of the West Coast. Final words. Give me some final words. Come on, CT. Draft this Thursday, 5 p.m.
Draft this Thursday. Shout out to everybody who tunes in. This is why we need the field level family to chime in for talks and arguments and debates and fun like this, because that's what makes the show popping, man. We appreciate y'all. Chris, thanks for chiming in. You gotta do it earlier because then we can really have a full show of just going at it. But love y'all. Thank y'all. See y'all this Thursday for the draft. We might go live. Ooh.
Could be. Kyle Pitts ate up Patrick. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Miles says he has no hips. Go ahead, CT.
I see CT.
Good show tonight, man. Good show tonight. I'm just excited for Thursday, man. I need it to happen ASAP. I just can't wait to have this talk. Who won the draft? What surprising moves happened? Who do we think's going to be a bust? There's a lot of good content coming, man. So it's just the start of something special. Draft season always special. So, let's just tune in for the ride and enjoy it.
All right, my man Jay, appreciate you, man, being with us on tonight. Hey, everybody that tuned in, Dre, Saudi, Chris, Miles, Greg, everybody that was able to tune in tonight, Pops. What a great show we had tonight, man. Just was able to kind of really chop up some real good game. I will say this, following tonight's show and how guys, kind of threw off on me, I will be posting Patrick Surtain getting cooked every day until the draft.
Okay.
Just because I want y'all to see it. As a matter of fact, I'll post it from the field level Twitter, making sure that everybody sees it. But this is it's been a great show tonight, man. I hope that everybody has a great and safe weekend. Let's talk, man. Let's talk all night Thursday. We'll be posting updates on Twitter about the draft, who we thought was going to go, and then what actually happened. So watch us on Twitter Thursday. You can find us on Twitter at the Field Level 1. You also can find us on Instagram at the Field Level. This is Pat. That's CT. That's Quan. Elevator going up. You are now leaving the field level.
Every week, catch it freshest on your TV. Field level football, Quan, Pat, and CT. On the field, running plays for the 3P. And we shine lights, camera, action when you see the team. Pick 6, touchdown when I got the ball. And if you think you in my league, tell them knock it off. Money calling every day, and I just got the call. Reduction over projection, it's in us, we just got a ball. We just got a ball. We just got a ball. got a ball.